welcome back everybody. Mr. Moose here with another episode of my TEW Local to Global series as a hardcore company, product, theme, whatever you want to call it. This is After Dark Wrestling, and tonight we are going to be continuing with our Voltage tour, which we are going to try and hammer out today in this episode. So last time out we basically had a bit of an admin episode, so yeah, hopefully I haven't put off too much of the audience. In the comments, let me know whether you like that sort of episode, whether you don't. I mean, all this kind of is about sort of putting my product out there for people to view, so I'm happy to tailor things somewhat. We don't want to take away from the meat and bones of the hardcore product, but do you like looking through the backstage? Do you like my thought process behind bringing in wrestlers? Let me know. But today is all going to be about the action, and we're going to pick things up with the Voltage Tour Night 2. Now, before we dive in, I'm going to just quickly show you the teams section. So here are all the teams that I've created. So we've got Attitude Problem, which is Bobby, oh my goodness, Bobby Beverly and Kenzie Page. We've got Dark Wave. We've seen those two last time out. That's Dark Shake and Kennedy Copeland. We've got Gore and Pound, because it was a play on Ground and Pound. And we spoke about Rhino and Veronica Poundstone teaming up. So we'll give them a little go at some point. Project Mayhem, KTB and Orin Vate. The Storm Riders, Jimmy Lyon and James Storm. I forgot his name then. The Shield Maidens and the Wild Ones we have seen previously. So that is our tag team division at the minute. And tonight, everyone is going to be, not everyone, are going to be competing for the ADW Tag Team Champions. And we've gone for a sort of electric feel, cyberpunk feel with this title belt, just so we're not seeing skulls absolutely everywhere. I like skulls, but I'm a bit more I'm not one-dimensional. I don't know, words. You see, bit of variation, I guess, is where I'm going with that. So yeah, without further ado, well, we got some mail. Gregory Whitehead's contract is ending. That's fine. Austin Whitehead's gone. We've seen that. And I'm not sure who Riot are. They're based in Mexico. Are they any good? No, it is not even worth talking to them. We can't afford it anyway, but yeah, they're not worth our investment at this moment in time. Yeah, let's just jump into the show. I don't think there's anything else to cover. So I've booked the show, let's get started, and today, like I say, we're going to try and get in a lot of wrestling. So, let's make a start. And in a pre-show match, we've got Danger Hawk, who has come in on a one-night-only deal, and he's taken on Satoko Yoshida, and I said in the last episode I wanted to try Yoshida in a high spots match. So we brought Danger Hawk in to give her a high spots match, and she's got a performance of 27, so I can imagine when she gets a bit more popular, she could be doing some good stuff in high spots matches. So, yeah, good to know. Experiment complete. I'm pretty pleased with how that's turned out. Let's move on to the main show. Mick Foley opens our show tonight. There is a table in the ring with a cloth over the top concealing an item. He says the recent success of the company has attracted more interest from fans and sponsors alike, and having met with Mr. Moose earlier, we have decided the time is right to introduce the tag team belts. He rips the cloth off the table, and two shiny belts are there. Tonight we will be having a TLC match to crown our new champions. This is mostly about Mick Foley setting the scene for the tag team division, and we've got two pretty ladies flanking him, leading into a bit of that XPW kind of theme. But we'll see if we can get these two over a little bit using Mick Foley. 46 segment rating, and I don't know if I said the last bit, we're going to have a TLC match, but it's not a TLC match. You'll see later. Let's move on. And while she's in the building, we will give Heather Reckless a run out, and she has the Chaos match against Veronica Poundstone, Mayhem match, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, these two are not the best workers, so Mayhem matches help, and Veronica Poundstone with a 15, Heather Reckless with a 29. And okay way to start the show, I guess. Moving on. We have another angle now. MV Young stands in the ring victorious once again. Having won a brutal trilogy against Rhino, he now feels it's time to make his own call on his next opponent and offers the opportunity of a lifetime for someone to get beat by MV Young. Goldust appears and pleads with MV Young. He would love to be pinned by such a handsome man. MV calls for security, but Nick Gage comes out instead. And he doesn't know what the two of them like to get up to in their spare time, and that's none of his business. But if anyone is the number one contender, it is him. And the three of them argue amongst themselves before Mick has to intervene again. Where are we up to? He is a reasonable He is a reasonable man, but he can't please everyone. He will allow MV Young's open challenge tonight, but there is no give without take. Nick Gage and Goldust will team up tonight and get themselves ready for the next match. And should MV Young defend his title tonight, he will be defending next time against both of them, Goldust and Nick Gage, in a triple threat match. So, if MV Young defends his title, he's got both of these to contend with next week. So, I think that will be a good main event. 62, pretty good angle. Lots of greens on there. Goldust underperformed apparently, but never mind. Let's move on. The crowd are white hot. And next we have a death match. Nate Webb defeating Alex Colon in 10-11 with a spider drop. And Alex Colon with a 45. Nate Webb with a 42. That's very, very good. And I'm trying Mandy Leone again out with workers to see if she can find some chemistry to be a manager, see if we can find a reason to keep her around, and it's not really worked with Alex Colon. But yeah, good match between the two of these. 46 overall. And next up we have an angle. We cut backstage and we see the Shield Maidens preparing for their title shot tonight. Astrid is in the background talking to herself. Shazza notices and asks if she's okay, but there's no response. Valentina gives her a little nudge, and Astrid returns to the room. She asks if she's coming to ringside tonight. She agrees, and the trio leave for the match. She pauses for a moment, staring at the picture of a skull and flames, and then heads to ringside. And I actually need to go and make her a manager, so let's just go and do that very quickly. Where is Astrid? Let's talk to worker. Booking. Where do we find, does she want to be a manager? Career? Yeah, make yourself active as a manager. Quickly just go and sort that out. Apologies. Can't remember everything all the time. Right. Perfect. Pretend that never happened. Right. Back to the show. And yeah, next up we've got the TLC tag match. So let's carry on. And in a bout that had great wrestling and decent heat, Project Mayhem, which is the team of KTB and Orin Vate, defeat the Attitude Problem, which are these two, the Storm Riders, which are these two, and the Shield Maidens, which are these two, in a full metal mayhem match, when Orin Vate retrieved the item, and the match was designed to be a car crash style stunt show full of crazy moves and dangerous bumps, as you would expect in a TLC match, right? So let's see what we've got here, because there's a lot going on. So Kenzie Page and Bobby Beverly did well. Orin Vate did well. KTB did well. Jimmy Lyon and James Storm in the high 30s, so that's okay. And Valentina and Shazza in the low 30s, so lagging a bit behind. We've got some decent gimmicks. Kenzie Page and Mandy Leone are a good pairing. Excellent. Any bad chemistry? No. So we can keep all these 4 tag teams around because there's no bad chemistry. So my gambling paid off. And yeah, Project Mayhem win the tag team titles in the Full Metal Mayhem match. And what that is it's a TLC match, but with thumbtacks, essentially. I can show you after. But, you know, we like to take things up a notch here at ADW, and a normal TLC match is not enough. We've got to put thumbtacks in there as well, because we like to do hardcore stuff around here. 43 rated match is pretty good, though, I have to say. Astrid did some good work at ringside as well. Next up, we've got the Wild Ones versus Goldust and Nick Gage. and basically just a kind of throwaway match. Well, not a throwaway match. These two need to team up as a team. There's no chemistry though. Nick Gage with 49 is man of the match, if you like. Goldust does well with 44. And yeah, these two in the 30s, 20s, so I think they're right to be a jobber team. 44 overall, though, is not bad. And next up, we have the main event, and it's MV Young defeating Jeffrey John in the Wild Brawl match, and MV Young makes defense number 7 of the title. These two don't click. That's a shame. This is kind of dive bombed a little bit. Any other match would have done quite well here, but yeah, that chemistry's really pulled it down. But again, you can't win them all. And MV Young gets a defense in. He gets a little bit of popularity taken from Jeffrey John, and yeah, finish the show with a 45, which is decent, but it might lose us. No, it won't lose us the regional battle because it takes the highest of everything. So yeah, shame about the main event. If we'd swapped it for any of the other two big matches, we would have done a better job there, but never mind. And who deserves some praise? Let's go Orinvate and KTB. They are now our tag team champions. Where's KTB? There we are. And yeah, these two have been really good workers for the company, and I think it's time we gave them a little bit of recognition for their hard work and good performances. We lost $1,000 on that show, so we've lost quite a bit there. I guess we've got some increased worker costs. And in terms of popularity, we're still kind of just... We've not broken this 30 yet. We're on the way to 35, but a bit of popularity gain sort of everywhere. So that's good. And yeah, so new tag team champions. Tag team division is up and running now. And yeah, KTB Orinvate, like I say, been good workers for us. So let's give them a little bit of recognition for their hard work. And we seem to have a bit of people snapping at the heels. Bobby Beverly and Kenzie Page did well. They're probably... Well, I mean, we're just basing this off one match, so they're sort of snapping at the heels. Heel combination, not always the best, but we do run a loose running product around here, so yeah, we'll see where that goes. MV Young and Nick Gage and Goldust are going to have a triple threat match next time out, so we're expecting good things out of that match. We'll see where that goes. And yeah, we're not really spoke about Astrid and her little storyline yet, so I don't really know where that's going at the minute, if I'm honest. I'm torn between two different ideas. But yeah, bottom of the cards kind of storyline, that one. Just to maybe see off that faction, finish off that faction, I don't know. Maybe move Shaz and Mackenzie out of it and get her deathmatch wrestling and let the other two do something else. I don't know, we'll see. But let's look at the finances, because we haven't looked at that. And yeah, that's nice. £10,000 on the ticket sales is excellent. Sure, that's across 2 shows. Broadcast revenue, I mean, it's like doubled, isn't it, basically? No, it's tripled pretty much. So that's good. Sponsorship money is good. Merchandise money is good. Bit extra on the workers, bit extra on the show costs, but that's good to see. That's good to see. If we can get... I mean, if we could take up Goldust wages as well, we'd have made a heck of a lot more. Maybe we should have brought in Akira and Alley Cat. Okay. Keep an eye on that. Have we got any mail? I think viewing figures 3,500. Yeah, that's poor, but I think it's out of our control. Yeah, that's a pretty decent show. Well, it's not a decent show because the main event flopped, but it sets us up nicely for a triple threat match now. Let's go and quickly look at the popularity of some of the major stars. Now they've been... We've still got to see Cole Roderick yet. Dark Shake is a major star. I suppose she's got 35 pop. She's not grown, though. Cole Roderick, yeah, he's the debut. Goldust is actually 46 still. Hoodfoot, we still need to see him debut. Jeffrey John, he has lost 1 popularity. And... who did he face? MV Young. So he's shot up to 42. Look at that. He's had a good jump there. Nick Gage as well. He's won a few matches. So he's gone from 35 to 38. Rhino still on 36. Nate Webb, he's on 37 now. So he's had a little bit of a push too. Yeah, we're going to keep that kind of going. Them four we spoke about in the last episode. Satu Jin, Nate Webb, Nick Gage, and MV Young. Just going to push those guys and keep them four relatively well paced. Mr. Danger needs to come in at some point and do something. We've not seen him debut yet, so maybe we'll put him in a match next time out. I wonder if he'd team up with Hoodfoot just to kind of get them on the card and get them doing something. Yeah, let's think about that. But yeah, that's going to do it for this segment. So I'm going to go forward to the next bit in Voltage Tour Night 3 in 13 days. So I'll be back then, and we'll see if anything comes up in the meantime. And we're back. So it's Tuesday, the 11th of July, and tonight we are going to be booking the Voltage Tour Night 3. So we'll be halfway through the tour after this one, and we got a pretty big show on tonight. I am aware we have not done Cole Raderick, Mr. Danger, and Hoodfoot yet. They are all making their debuts tonight, so we're going to see those in action. And then every single one of the tourists or new signings will have been used. Nothing really much to cover. The finances look really good. Last month we made $2,000, so I'm really pleased with that. There's a big jump from the 150 from the King of Steel finale. And we're still doing the merchandise upgrade as well. Said that twice. Let's cut that out the tape, and yeah, we'll just dive in with the show, shall we? So here we are, night 3. Right, and a pre-show match. We've got the team of Gore and Pound, which is Rhino and Veronica Poundstone, taking on the Wild Ones, everyone's favourite jobbers at the minute, and Rhino gets the job done. And he gored Zilia Fatu. So we'll check Veronica Poundstone's popularity after this match and see if it has increased at all. Now, I'm just going to put some creative finishes in. I'll be back in just a sec. And MV Young is in the ring, and he's very annoyed that he has to face 2 opponents tonight. He's clearly the best wrestler in the world, but he is concerned that he could lose the title tonight without being pinned. In fact, it wouldn't surprise him if his opponents lay down and took the pin right away to save themselves from being beaten. But tonight, despite the foul play that could happen, MV Young will be leaving with the belt. And MV Young, maybe is he getting his excuses in nice and early there, perhaps. Segment rating is 65. He's really good to just put in an angle at any point. Good stuff. And Satu Jin returns tonight, defeating Jeffrey John in the Chaos match, and a good rating for Satu. I think that might be the first time I've seen him in the 40s. Not sure. Jeffrey John with a 45, which is very good as well. Great way to start the show. Despite this being a Chaos match, this could very well be a main event match at some point, but we're hoping for bigger and better things going forward. Anyway, good win for Satu Jin. Let's give him a boost in popularity. And next we see the long-awaited debuts of Cole Raderick, Hoodfoot and Mr. Danger. And Hoodfoot and Mr. Danger defeat Cole Raderick and Tim Dunst, sort of there to be the jobber, in a tables match. Tim Dunst was eliminated first, then Mr. Danger, then finally Cole Raderick. Now, what I'm more concerned about here are performances. So Mr. Danger with a 49. When I looked at his screen and saw his skills, I thought he would be good. Cole Raderick's done very well with 47. Hoodfoot with 43, little bit behind the other two, but I think he's behind in popularity as well. Tim Dunst with a very respectable 35 as well, and some good gimmicks here. I keep forgetting to assign the gimmick ideas. Thankfully, Hoodfoot and Mr. Danger have got some good gimmicks, and Adequate isn't bad for Cole Raderick either. Yeah, good match, 47 overall. Can't complain about that one bit, and yeah, we've got a bit of a glimpse of some of our new guys. Yeah, they could very well slot themselves in at the top of the card, I think, looking at that. Next, we have the Wild Brawl match, and Janai Kai takes on Casanova Valentine, and Janai Kai picks up the win when she knocks him out, or he couldn't beat the 10 count. We're just getting Janai Kai a little bit more over. She's the better performer. 33 segment rating, you know, mid-card match, lower mid-card match, that's okay. On to the next one. And we have an angle now, and James Storm and Jimmy Lyon are in the ring reviewing the recent, well, Full Metal Mayhem action. Victory was almost in their grasps, but he lost his footing and slipped at the wrong moment. It took hours to get all the thumbtacks removed from him. He thinks that they deserve another shot at the gold. Attitude Problem, which is the team of Bobby Beverly and Kenzie Page, interrupt and tell Storm this isn't TNA, and here in ADW only the toughest, and those who have the best footwear, grip, succeed. He tells them to quit crying and join the back of the queue as they don't complain about thumbtacks. And Mick Foley comes out and he comes to the fore and says he thinks he's heard that there's going to be a number one contenders match tonight, and considering Attitude Problem like thumbtacks so much, they're legal tonight. And have a nice day from Mick Foley. 45 angle, and Kenzie Page and Mandy Leon are a good pairing. Yeah, I think we're going to keep them as a manager for her. Not that she really needs it. Kenzie Page is really charismatic and good on the mic. These two, I said that, they didn't do well without a script to follow. But yeah, this is a decent angle, 45. Mick Foley doing his part as the general manager, trying to get everyone a little bit more over. And we're going to have a number one contenders match next. And the Storm Riders defeat the Attitude Problem in 13 minutes when James Storm pinned Bobby Beverly with an 8-second ride. So we've actually seen it now, the 8-second ride. I was waiting for that for a long time, but we've now actually seen it. Good performances here, sort of top 30s, low 40s. Yeah, I mean, that's alright. 42 overall, we can't really complain with that. And yeah, excellent chemistry, good chemistry there. Moving on. And we see another video package. Astrid is walking through the forest with her shield maidens. Suddenly it gets dark. We hear voices and the sound of steel hitting flesh. She turns to her shield maidens and they are down, but nobody is there. The forest bursts into flames and spreads her with an intense speed. She screams for help and suddenly wakes again to find it is another bad dream. Segment rating of 31. It is a video package. I wonder if this is just because it's a video package, it's so poor. Again, we're seeing this sort of thrown in there. Got a bit of a plan for this, but I don't know. It's not doing very good ratings, is it? Never mind. Let's move on. And we've got our main event where the creative finish was a failure. Of course it was. And in a bout that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, Nick Gage defeated Goldust and MV Young when Nick Gage pinned Goldust with a choke breaker, and Nick Gage wins the ADW Supreme Championship title. MV Young with a 55, Nick Gage with a 50, Goldust with a 45. This is a very, very good match. And yeah, shame about the creative finish, because I think we might have had a 50 segment rating match here. But yeah, Nick Gage on the 50s again, MV Young on the 55. And Goldust is out the building, I'm afraid, now. But yeah, Nick Gage is our new champion. And a 52 overall, that's very, very good. Let's finish the show. And we will give Nick Gage some praise. And I think we'll give MV Young some praise as well. He's dropped the title tonight, so let's just reassure him that he's still very much in the picture. I mean, he did do an absolutely great performance, to be honest. And Nick Gage as well, doing very well. 2 stars of the company at the minute. And their feud's not over. Their feud is not over, do not worry. We're going to see some more good stuff with those. And yeah, Tri-State up to 30 now. Very, very good. And up to 3 in the Southwest, Puerto Rico and Hawaii. Okay, very good. Yeah, Nick Gage is the new champion. I did hint earlier that we needed to do something with him now. So now is his time. And we'll see how he does. We've got another 3 episodes of the High Voltage Tour yet. And I still think him and MV Young need to go one-on-one. Goldust was there to take the pin tonight, because he's out of the company now. And I didn't want MV Young pinned, but I wanted to give Nick Gage a run. How long will his run be? I don't know. But yeah, they're going to be setting up for a death match, I think. I think they're both death match workers. We're going to get them in a death match, I think, at some point. So we'll build towards that. James Storm and Jimmy Lyon are the number 1 contenders for the tag team titles as well now. So we'll give them a match, I think, on the next show. And we'll yeah, see how they do. Yeah, we can see that Goldust has left ADW. Is there anything else we need to talk about? That's sort of the main focus. Veronica Poundstone and Rhino, that team. Let's go and see how her popularity did. Did she gain any? So at the end of last month she was 10. Now she is 11. So she did move up slightly. I mean, they're not in the picture for the tag team title yet by no stretch of the imagination. Maybe they'll just go on their own little tour of the company, beating people in the lower card, and see if we can get this up a little bit. Maybe it's like 20, something like that. It doesn't need to be insane. I just want to see where she does, because again, she's got the deathmatch specialist, so that's what I'm most interested in. So Rhino can hopefully pull her along. And the Insanity storyline, the video packages haven't been very good, have they? So maybe I need to think about wrapping that one up. I mean, if we look at the storyline, so we've got the extremely hot MV Young Nick Gage Goldust storyline. So Goldust is gone now, so he's out of the company. I mean, we're still unknown here at the minute, aren't we? So there's nothing really going on. But them segment ratings, they're the 2 video packages, and that's the angle. I don't know. It's definitely on the low card, innit? It's got to be something in the low card. We'll see if we can tie it into something else and wrap it up at the end of the Voltage tour. I don't really see much of a place for them 3 at the minute. They're just kind of there. I just kind of wanted to use the faction considering I'd invested so much into it, but I think maybe we just cut the losses and leave it. I know. We'll see it through to the Voltage tour, at the end of the Voltage tour. Let me know down in the comments. Are you enjoying those storylines with Katie Arquette or not? Should we just get rid? I'm thinking we just get rid after the Voltage tour. Or maybe just leave her as a manager. We've got better things going on, haven't we, to be honest? I mean, a 50 rated match with Nick Gage. Well, 50 rated performance as the champion. Let's look at the title holders just before we move on to the next bit. So the tag team title champions are KTB and Orin Vate. And the Supreme Championship is now Nick Gage. And MV Young made 7 defences. Let's look at his defences. So he beat Rhino to win the title in a ladder match. That was at the Gauntlet. Yeah, there we go, at the Gauntlet. Then he's defeated Rhino again in the rematch. Austin Whitehead, Nate Webb, Heather Reckless, Orin Vate, Rhino again, Jeffrey John in the last match. So he's had a trilogy with Rhino, and then the rest have just all been kind of certain defences, I guess. And the best one was against Rhino. That was a 50 rated match. I didn't realise that. That was very good. And yeah, now Nick Gage has won the title. And we'll see if we can give him a little run. What is his... Can we see his profile? What's his stamina? 57. How fast is it dropping? Yeah, so he's what? He's dropping a point every 2 months. So I mean, we could get like a year out of him. I'm not sure he'll hold the title for a year. I don't know. I'll have a think. I'll have a think about that. Where we're going to go after the Voltage tour, we're going to go into the Gauntlet again. And we're going to do a Gauntlet tour. And what I'm thinking, sorry, just thinking ahead of time, we can do a elimination format with 32 people. And then we can still have that spread out over 6 weeks or whatever it is. But we can get a good tournament. And maybe we'll just bring everyone in the roster into the tournament. Everyone who's not sort of mysteriously out for whatever reason anyway. So everyone could be in with a shot of winning. I think that's where we'll go with that. Alright, anyway, I'm going to move on to the next segment. And yeah, I'll see you when it's time for night 4 of the tour. Alright everybody, so we're back. And it's Tuesday the 25th of July 2028. And tonight we are going to book the Voltage Tour night 4. So let's dive right in. And we start the show with an angle tonight. Nick Gage opens the show. He's celebrating his Supreme Championship win with the fans, but those celebrations are cut short by MV Young. He decides to invoke a rematch clause in his contract, as he never actually lost the championship, because it was Goldust that got pinned by Nick Gage. Mick Foley interrupts and tells MV Young that there is no rematch clause, but there are several people knocking on the door of a title shot. So tonight we will determine who the number 1 contender is in a fatal 4-way elimination death match. And yeah, that will determine who is the number 1 contender. Both MV Young and Mick Foley exit the ring, leaving Gage to celebrate. But those celebrations are cut short again as Satu Jin suddenly appears and clobbers him with his trademark steel chair. And he takes out Nick Gage. He hoists the Supreme Belt in the air before throwing it at Nick's feet and leaving. And yes, Satu Jin getting in on the action there. Really good angle, 61. There's a lot of greens on the page there. But yeah, setting the scene, there's going to be a fatal 4-way deathmatch elimination tonight. And Satu Jin thinks he's able to jump the queue by the looks of it. So we'll see where that goes. And in our first match of the night, the Shield Maidens take on the Wild Ones in the Chaos match, Mayhem match, whatever you want to call it. And Shazza McKenzie pins Zilia Fatu with the overdrive. And some good performances here. Everyone's sort of in the 30s. Juicy Finale still needs a little bit of work, but that is okay. That is a decent opening match, if I'm honest. Can't really complain with that. Lots of greens. Next up. Nate Webb defeats Jeffrey John with a Soylent Green. And we're just getting Nate Webb over a little bit. He's one of our main guys, and he's beating the much more popular Jeffrey John. Yeah, like I say, just trying to get Nate over a little bit to keep his performances nice and high. 43 is very, very good. 41 segment rating, and Nate Webb has a gimmick that's getting stale, so we'll have to sort that out after the match, if I remember. And that's part of the problem. You always forget these things. And the next match is a wild brawl that had decent wrestling and the attitude problem, which is Bobby Beverly and Kenzie Page get the win over Dark Wave, who is Dark Shake and Kennedy Copeland. And lots of good performances here. Everyone in the 30s. Bobby Beverly and Dark Shake, probably the two standouts there. But yeah, that's a decent match. 41 overall, can't complain. And next up we have Project Mayhem, which is KTB and Orin Vate, and they're taking on the Storm Riders, James Storm and Jimmy Lyon, and this is for the Tag Team Championships. And Project Mayhem, these two, get the win over James Storm and Jimmy Lyon. Yeah, defense number 1 of the title. Lots of good performances here. Everyone's in the 40s. We've actually got the excellent chemistry here as well. Jimmy Lyon picking up a 41, that's quite impressive for his standards. Orin Vate and KTB 42, that's kind of their normal figures, I guess. But yeah, 43 overall. Good match. And title defense number 1 in the bag for Project Mayhem. And next we have an angle. And it's Astrid once again staring at the same picture of the Skull and Flames that we saw her doing earlier. Completely fixed on it. Mick Foley approaches, and he mentions that there's been some concern in the locker room about her behaviour since the Valhalla match. Mick asks her if she needs some time off, and she replies that she doesn't. Mick thinks it would be best to get her back in the ring, and in the next show she will be booked in a match. And this is a much better segment. This is more kind of what I was hoping with. Mick Foley has no doubt brought that up massively with a 65 compared to the 52. But even a 52 would have been much better than the 30s we are going on. Now, building towards something here a little bit. So, yeah, good job, Mick. Well done. Next up. And in our main event, in a bout that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, MV Young defeats Cole Raderick, Hoodfoot and Mr. Danger in a death match. The order of elimination was Cole Raderick first, then Mr. Danger, and finally Hoodfoot. And everyone with a very good performance here, to be honest. MV Young, the star of the show, 54. I still think he's the top guy at the minute. Mr. Danger breaking that 50, which is really good to see as well. Cole Radrick with 48, not too far behind. And Hoodfoot, he's a little bit less popular than most of these guys, but a 45 is pretty good as well. Yeah, MV Young is now the number 1 contender. And a 55 show, that's really, really good. We'll have to check the top 100s again to see where this stacks against everything. But yeah, this is a good show. Great angles, great matches. What's not to like? And let's address the locker room. So who do we want to give some praise to. Mick Foley has kind of dragged the show up with his popularity, so let's give it to him. And who else shall we work on? I mean, it's difficult to know who to give it to at this point. Everyone's done really, really well. Let's go with... I don't know, let's go with Mr. Danger. He did a good job tonight. Mick Foley was pleased with your speech. Mr. Danger seemed pleased. A loss of about $500 in the show, but I'm not too worried. And a bit of popularity increase overall for everyone. So yeah, that was a really good show. Really happy with that. We're building towards night 6 of the tour, which is essentially going to be the last night of the tour. The big matches being bought out, or the big names, or whatever you want to call it. I haven't got any actual match, like unique match types in mind for this one. So I think we'll just stick with the standard stuff. I mean, I did like the idea of having some sort of electric chair match, but I don't know how I'd get it to work. I mean, maybe trapping them in an item or something and then just putting it in an angle. Perhaps, maybe we could do that. I don't really know. I'll have a think. It seems a bit... We've already done the human cannonball. I don't know. I mean, maybe we should do an electric chair match. Maybe that's what we're going to do. Maybe that's what we'll do. But, yeah, MV Young and Nick Gage are probably going to go at it, unless Satu Jin wants to get involved. We can think about how to throw a bit of a curveball there, maybe. We'll get the tag titles being defended again at night 6 of the show. And we're taking a bit of time to load here. Now, before I go forward, there's something else I would like to share. So, in the events tab, I am going to bring back Friday Night Frenzy. Now, I'm going to bring it back as a house show. So, for all the people who are not really using it at the minute, you know, maybe like a lot of the young lions, you know, people who are just finding themselves a little bit out of favour, just to keep them ticking over, because we are a lot of people's only employer. And if we're not using them, they're going to get rusty, they're going to get kind of, well, just mostly rusty, but they're not going to progress. Anyway, they're going to stagnate. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to bring back Friday Night Frenzy as a house show. It's not going to be on the TV or anything. It's just going to be there to help people, keep them ticking over, and maybe push some really, really lower people. Now, I'm not planning on including this in the recordings. I'm going to keep it as a separate thing. I'm also going to use it for a bit of experimentation, try and find some chemistry, bit kind of like the Shattered Dreams tour, but it's going to be off camera, so you don't have to sit there and watch matches like Minnie White against Yoshida every single week, bringing in a 15. If you'd like to see them, let me know down in the comments, but I think from my perspective, I'd rather not do them, so I can try some things out for the main show, and then there's no spoilers when you come to the main show. But yeah, I'm open to your thoughts, to your suggestions on that. But it's not going to be a televised show. It's just going to be kind of there. Maybe make a little bit of money. As you can see, it's going to be very cheap tickets. Lesser show, I think. Have I set it to a lesser show? Yeah, I've set it to a lesser show. So, just for your information, now I'm going to go forward to night 5 of the tour. And that's where we'll pick this back up. Again, there's going to be a house show in the middle. If there's anything interesting, I'll let you know. But if not, we'll just keep it there in the background. But yeah, thanks very much. And I'll be back when it's time for the next show. And we're back for the next segment of the Voltage Tour. It is Tuesday, the 8th of August. And yeah, night 5 tonight. So we did run the house show in between the two recordings as well. And there are some very, very interesting things that I found in the house show, which we will address in the next couple of episodes. But for now, we will carry on with the Voltage Tour Night 5. So, let's jump right in. And Nick Gage opens the show and he calls out Satu Jin. Satu Jin wasn't good enough to take part in the Fatal 4-Way last week, so he decided to skip the queue. And that's in relation to the chair attack last time out. Well, now he has Gage's attention, full attention, and Satu has bought a one-way ticket to Arse-Kicking Highway. Maven appears and tells Gage that he has such a bad temper and he needs to calm down. Satu will happily go to Arse-Kicking Highway, but the only person getting out alive is Satu. However, Satu only plays for gold. That gold around your waist, Nick. So Nick agrees to the match. but only if maximum punishment can be dished out. It will be a death match. And yeah, Nick Gage does really well here with his microphone skills. Maven Bentley's a little bit underwhelming. I think if it wasn't for the fact he had great chemistry with Sato, we might give him the boot, but he's not really doing any harm, I suppose. And he's on the booking team as well. But 58 overall. We're going to have Nick Gage versus Satu Jin as our main event. So that should be a belter. And in our next match, we have Astrid taking on Satoko Yoshida. And Astrid wins by pinfall. This is the Chaos match. And yeah, Astrid, a potential future heel turn for Astrid was hinted at. So we'll look at that in a minute. And the Chaos match helps hide how bad Astrid was performing. Words. But Yoshida, she doesn't have that note. So to me, that reads that Yoshida is a better in-ring performer than Astrid. But even though Astrid gets a better in-ring performance. Is there anything on the dirt sheet about that? Let's see. It doesn't give anything in there, does it? I mean, the chaotic nature of the match helped hide how poor in-ring performance of Astrid. But yeah, it doesn't say anything about Yoshida. Good to know. Moving on to the next section. And we have an angle. And Astrid gets the win and heads for the back. But she suddenly stops. She catches a glimpse of a huge man with a hood over his face. She seems stunned for a moment, then snaps. She heads back into the ring, picks up a kendo stick and beats the life out of Yoshida. Orin Vate and KTB come to make the save, but Astrid escapes through the crowd. So yeah, Astrid has snapped. She's seen a hooded man, gone absolutely bonkers, so who could that hooded man be? Could be a number of people, couldn't it? Let's be honest. And KTB and Orin Vate. So if you don't know, Orin Vate is dating Yoshida in the game. So I thought it just kind of made sense for him to run out and try and protect his misses and all that sort of stuff. Segment rating of 47. Crowd are white hot. And in our next match, we have a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Gore and Pound, which is the team of Veronica Poundstone and Rhino, take on Jeffrey John and Minnie White in a street fight. And Rhino pins Jeffrey John with a Gore. And I didn't really expect very much from this match, if I'm honest. Rhino with a 43, Jeffrey John with a 38. That's respectable. The two rookies are still under 20. So yeah, we're still building them up. That's okay. They're young lions. And the whole idea behind this match is these are set up, Gore and Pound are set up as a permanent unit. So doing some reading in the game files, they should acquire popularity or lose popularity at the same rate. So if Rhino pins Jeffrey John and gains a bit of popularity out of it, hopefully Veronica will too. That's the thinking there. So we'll have to go and check her popularity after show, because I want to get her over a little bit. Not too much. I don't want her to be like a superstar or anything. I just want to get her over a bit because she's a deathmatch specialist and we can start putting her in some better matches. And at some point the 3 years will expire and she can actually win matches. So that is the thinking there. Moving on. Oh, well, Rhino sustained a broken toe. Minnie White got some heat for standing on Rhino's toe. Oh dear. And in a wild brawl next, Janai Kai defeats Tim Donst when Tim Donst could not beat a 10 count. 35 apiece. In terms of performances, Janai Kai gets the win. And yeah, we're just keeping Janai Kai ticking along. And Tim Donst hasn't featured in a little time, sometime. So next up, we shall see what happens with this. 37 overall. And in the next match, Alex Colon takes on Casanova Valentine. And Alex Colon gets the win. Casanova with 33. I've been impressed by Alex Colon, to be honest. And he's taken a few falls. He's been a bit of a job guy, so just giving him a win against one of our other job guys. 41 overall, not too bad. And we have another angle now. So after Astrid's unexpected assault earlier, KTB and Orin Vate confront Astrid, but the Shield Maidens are guarding the way. There's lots of shouting and a scuffle breaks out. However, Mick and security are on hand very quickly to restore order. Mick says there's clearly a problem here, so in 2 weeks, at night 6 of the tour. Orinvate and KTB will defend the tag titles against the Shield Maidens, and Astrid will be banned from entering any AEW arena until a full psychiatric check is completed. Segment rating of 44. None of these are particularly good at angles. I mean, even Mick couldn't pull this one up, I'm afraid. But yeah, Astrid and Mick did well in the angle. Commentary lifted the segment, thank goodness for that. But yeah, we're just building towards a little tag team defense between all these guys at the next show. And next up, we cut backstage and we see that Tim looks a little dejected. He's been on a bad run since losing to Rhino, and Maven appears to have washed his hands with him. Casanova Valentine walks past. He's also had a bad run. Casanova tries to cheer Tim up and says a good turn of luck is never too far away. And Tim Dunst foreshadowed a face turn during this segment. And both men did really, really badly, as expected. But, that's okay. And let's move on to the main event. And in a bout that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, Nick Gage defeats Satu Jin in a death match by pinfall with a choke breaker. And Nick Gage makes defense number 1 of the Supreme title belt. Sadly, Satu Jin and Nick Gage don't click. That's a bit of a shame. But good performance. I mean, Satu Jin outperforming Nick Gage there. Wow. And a 49 overall, segment rating of 49. Satu Jin is putting in a case there to be in the main event. I mean, that is really good. That is really, really good. And we've got Maven to be his mouthpiece as well. Yeah, I mean, not so great about the creative finish. Not creative finish, the fact that they don't click. That brought the match down a bit. I think that could have been in the 50s. Easily in the 50s. But this is still a good show. And we've not got MV Young in tonight. He's having a night off. So we've managed to do a main event without MV Young. And we've done a decent job. Yoshida was slightly overused. She was only in a 12-minute match, if I'm not mistaken. So, never mind. She's got to get better somehow. You know, you'd never get your really bad workers to do anything if they're never on the show, right? Let's address some people. I mean, Minnie White botched up Rhino. So let's give Rhino some praise, and we'll tell Minnie White, where is she? Give her some encouragement. There we go. So Rhino seemed pleased. They both seem pleased. He's out for 3 days for broken toe. I mean, yeah, bit of a sore one for a few days, but I think we'll be fine. Rhino there. Let's see. So we made £500 on the show. We've actually got £13,000 in the bank now. That's lovely stuff. Popularity was still at 30. But we are up to 13 in a bunch of places and some 4s down here. So we are more popular in some parts of Canada now than in the southwest. Alright. But yeah. So we sort of built ourselves up to the finale of this tour. So we're going to have MV Young and Nick Gage in probably a death match, I would have thought. And we're going to have the tag team title defense with Orinvate, KTB, and the Shield Maidens. I keep forgetting the name of their tag team. I keep forgetting it. I've got to tie it in somehow, so we've got to do that. What else is going to be on the card? I don't know. I've not really got any other interesting stories going on at the minute, so we're just going to go for high match quality, I think. Yeah, I think so. Now, we foreshadowed a few things in there. A couple of heel turns, a couple of face turns. Now, in the Friday Night Frenzy house show thing that I did, Tim Dunst and Casanova Valentine had excellent chemistry when pairing together. So them two might have just bought themselves like a bit of a lifeline, because I'm really struggling of things to do with them two. So maybe we can just stick them in a tag team, and maybe they can improve their fortunes. They're both decent workers, but they're both like really low in morale and stuff at the minute. So that's a bit of a shame. So Rhino's injured. We got rid of Masada. Just booted him out. I didn't really see a future for him in the company, so he's expired. Homicide's contract is ending, so we need to address that. Casanova Valentine, I think we're going to extend him and try and do something with him and Tim Dunst. Yoshida will keep her around because she's good for booking and backstage morale. Second in the regional battle, tri-state regional battle that is, and Nick Gage needs his contract renewing as well. So I'll go and address most of those things off screen. Yeah, we'll be back when it is time for the, well, tour finale, I guess. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so here we are. It's time for the finale of the Voltage Tour, and ADW Voltage Tour Night 6 is going to be next on the agenda. And get Tuesday the 22nd of August, we are going to just basically dive right in. There's no news to think of. No news springs to mind, even words. And yeah, we're gonna crack on. So here we go then. And in a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd but embarrassing wrestling, Christian Robinson defeated Satoko Yoshida with a 630 splash. Oh my goodness, what is a 630 splash? That's what, 2.5 revolutions, I think? No, 1.5 revolutions. It's like a flip and then a half flip. So it's bigger than a 450, but not quite 2 full flips. Anyway, never mind. This is a dross match. But Christian Robinson asked if he wanted to be used, if we could use him. So yeah, for sure, I like bringing in local workers. And he gets the win over Satoko Yoshida, the young lion. And they've got pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. So that's good to know. And a guy who can do a 630 must be pretty good at aerial, so maybe we'll go back and look at him a bit later on. I didn't really look at his stats and stuff, but yeah. Pre-show match. And we open the main show with the broadcast team of JR and the Blue Meanie. In the 2-hour special, we will see both the tag titles and the Supreme title on the line tonight. And it's also a last chance for some of our tourists to impress the GM and see if they are worthy of becoming full-time members of the ADW family. 74 rated angle. That is absolutely ridiculous. Really pleased with that. And yeah, JR bringing the goods, and the Blue Meanie apparently did really well as well tonight. So yeah, props to the commentary team. Got us off to a great start. And in the first match of the night, we have the Mayhem match, and this is a tables match, and Hoodfoot puts Juicy Finau through a table. And we brought in Hoodfoot. We've not used him very much, but he is still very much in the plans. So a 47 performance here is very, very good. And Juicy Finau over 27. He's a bit of the job guy. But yeah, these two make a decent match, and this is a good way to start the main card. Not the main card. Jim Ross did that. The matches. And yeah, tables match. Hoodfoot with the win. And next up, in a bout that had great wrestling and great heat and decent wrestling, the Attitude Problem defeated Jeffrey John and Heather Reckless when Kenzie Page pinned Jeffrey John. And Heather Reckless was the weak link here, but yeah, still getting her on the card there. Kenzie Page 39, Bobby Beverly 41, which is a good performance. And yeah, we're just taking the last of Jeffrey John's popularity before we see him go. And in fact, I think these two are out of their tour contract as well, but giving them one last opportunity to, I don't know, make a case to be a main worker, I guess. And next up we have Janai Kai and Zilia Fatu in the obligatory Wild Brawl match, and Janai Kai keeps picking up momentum, picking up some wins, and this time she's knocked out Zilia Fatu. And I guess the question is, you're fighting a former pro martial artist. Is anyone actually going to be able to beat her? Because you know, if anyone has done martial arts and things like that, yeah, it makes you pretty good at fighting. So yeah, 36 for Janai Kai, knocking on the door of 40. Well, not quite, but nearly there. And Zilia Fatu with 31, despite being off his game, is actually pretty good. So moving on. And in the bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Tatum Paxley defeated Minnie White by submission. This is an eye candy match with a really, really good segment rating. Look at that. Tatum Paxley with a 73. Now, I brought in Tatum Paxley. I did have a different plan for her, but in the test show that I did, the house show, the plan I had for her didn't really work out. But Yeah, I want to get her in because she was a big thing in NXT if I'm not mistaken, and I think she was the champion. Not 100% sure. Someone will let me know if not. But yeah, she isn't great in the ring, but with performances like that, yeah, we're going to find something to do with her because that is excellent. Now, we're going to move on to the I know, nitty gritty that I call it, whatever you want to call it. So, in a bout that had great heat and decent wrestling, Project Mayhem defeat the Shield Maidens in a street fight in 15 minutes when KTB pinned Valentina Feroz. The match was also another chaos match, mayhem match, whatever you want to call it, to bring the crowd right back up after they've been calmed down from the eye candy match. And Orient Vate and KTB doing well here. Shazza McKenzie with a 37, pretty good. Valentina Feroz with a 33, and she's not very good in ring either, so the chaos match helped there. But, I mean, it was a pretty much foregone conclusion that this was going to happen. This is all about what's going to happen next. And Project Mayhem get the win, but it was a much closer tie than we were expecting. They make a quick exit, and the Shield Maidens are deflated in the ring. Suddenly, the arena goes dark, and a huge burst of flames lights up the arena. The huge hooded man storms to the ring with a purpose. He clears out Valentina and Shazza with such little effort. He stares into Astrid's soul. He grabs her by the throat and delivers a huge chokeslam. He stands over her, scoops her up over his shoulder, and leaves the arena. So, who might our hooded man be? And what does he want with Astrid? Stay tuned to find out. And next up, we have a fantastic heated match and great wrestling. Mr. Danger and Nate Webb defeat Cole Roderick and Alex Colon in a light tube match when Nate Webb pinned Cole Roderick with a Soylent Green 2. And Alex Colon and Mandy Leon are an awkward pairing. Apparently I forgot to take her off manager duty. But looking at the performances here, Alex Colon off his game gets a 46. Nate Webb with a 47. Cole Roderick with a 40. And Mr. Danger with a 52. He's good, isn't he? He's very, very good for £70 a month. £70 a show, rather. Very good indeed. Segment rating of 50. Yeah, that's a good match. Probably would have been better if I took this blinking manager thing off, but never mind. And next up we have our main event. And in an exceptional match where the creative finish failed once again, I can count on double hands how many times that happened now. Double hands? Both hands. And in an exceptional match, MV Young defeats Nick Gage in a death match, following interference from Kenzie Page. And MV Young wins the ADW Supreme title again. So just a short reign for Nick Gage. Nick Gage with a 57. Oh my word, that is very good indeed. That's better than MV Young. Have I done the wrong thing here? Maybe, but Nick Gage with a 57 is really good. MV Young with a 53. I mean, MV Young was slightly off his game. So if he wasn't off his game, would he have topped 57? I guess we're never going to find out, are we? But this is still a good match. Shame about the creative finish. And Nick Gage is in complete control of the match. MV Young has no answer to Gage's extreme fighting style, and he looks set to win. Suddenly, Kenzie Page enters the ring and hammers Gage with what looks like MV Young's bat, or meatloaf as we've been calling it. Nick judders and twitches before falling to the canvas completely immobilized. MV Young climbs the top rope and hits a frog splash and gets the free count. I don't know if MV Young can frog splash, but he can now. MV Young and Kenzie Page celebrate in the ring, and a new and potentially dangerous alliance has formed. 68 segment rating to finish. Pretty good. And Mandy Leon and Kenzie Page are an excellent pairing. Pretty good indeed. And a 56 overall. The show benefited from having a wide selection of angles. I'm pretty happy with that one. Starting from the commentary at 74, that was just a really good card. Maybe these two lower card matches I mean, that doesn't really matter. Let's look at the top of the card, right? A 53, a 50. Both the angles were really good. And even this match was decent. And Hoodfoot and Juicy Finau as well in the Mayhem match. All topping 40s. Yeah, this is good. Good stuff from the team. And let's give people some morale boosts. So let's get Tatum Paxley. She had a good performance. And where's Nick Gage? He's going to be a bit salty, I think. It's going to be a bit salty, so we'll have to go look at that. Yeah, we lost a lot of money there. But that's okay. We're still on 30. We're still on 30. When are we ever going to increase? I don't know. Lots to digest after that one. First of all, our touring contracts are now ended. And we're probably going to keep a few of them around. Kenzie Page was on a touring contract, but seems to have had quite the influence. Now, I'm going to be honest. I wanted to team up MV Young with Tatum Paxley and just have them just like dominate the landscape for a while. But I tried them out in the house show I was running and they had zero chemistry whatsoever. Absolute zero chemistry. So I thought about a few ideas and I thought I'd try Kenzie Page. And Kenzie Page and MV Young have got excellent chemistry. So that's the thinking behind that. That maybe at some point... Well, maybe we can just have a new faction with them to try and find someone else who fits in and just make them like the guys to beat, I guess, at the minute. Because MV Young's pretty good. Great chemistry on that one. And what else do we need to digest? I mean, Mr. Danger did really, really well again. Nate Webb's doing well. So we're going to have to think of something to do with these guys. Nick Gage wasn't happy about losing. Once again, as I'm pretty sure... we can all tell. Where is Nick Gage? Where is he? He's still pleased, though. He's still pleased, so that's good. So I've missed a grump on there. So yeah, Alex Colon's gone. Bobby Beverly's gone. Cole Roderick's gone. Dark Shake. Jeffrey John. Kenzie Copeland. And Kenzie Cage has broken up with whoever she was dating. Well, MV Young is now available, I think. So she can go and team up with him, I think. We'll have a bit of a review of the tour contracts in the next episode and see who we're going to bring back and see who we're not going to bring back. Is there any more mail to cover? Viewing figures, 4,302. 3,712. Yeah, so we increased in viewership there. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Oh, today's the final chance to begin a contract extension with Nick Gage. Let's get that done before I forget, because he wants $300. $250? I should always do this first. I always forget. $250? $290. Alright. We'll give you $290. You have 15% merchandise. 20% merchandise? Ugh, you want a bit much, don't you? Come on, just come in and just do your job. Right, there we go. So we're going to be paying him a little bit more now, but that's okay. We'll look at the finances in the next episode too. We'll see the month out. And yeah, I think that's everything to cover. So we'll come back. That's going to be the end of this episode today. We'll come back. And next up, we're going to start the Gauntlet again. Gauntlet tour. So I've got a few ideas for that. So stay tuned. But if you've liked this one, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Leave a comment if you want to have any input into the series. Let me know your thoughts. What should we do? Who should we bring back? Who should we not bring back? And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.